Well, good afternoon to you, Mayor. It's nice to be online with you once again, talking about matters pertinent to city management and the city residents.
Good afternoon. It's good to see you, and it's good to be live as well. Welcome to all our residents. Thanks for tuning in. So this is our weekly meeting for today, February 8th, and I'm here with our city manager. So we want to start off as we usually do, kind of going over our COVID numbers and kind of letting the city know where we are in terms of that, and then bringing you up to date on some activities that are going on in the city.
So thank you, Mayor. So first of all, the numbers are heading the right directions right now. If you look at the Westchester County COVID data portal, which is anybody can look to, and we also publish the results periodically on our city Facebook page. Our number of active cases of COVID is down to 140 in the city. That compares to 769 just a couple of weeks ago at the end of January, and 1,265 in mid-January. So it's a dramatic reduction. The Omicron kind of passed through. It's clearly still a risk, and we know that the hospitals have been hit pretty hard, but it's nice to see that number coming down. The other number that's going up, which we like, is the vaccination rate, which surpassed 90% a week or so ago, which was cause for celebration. We did a Facebook post about that, congratulating Peekskill residents. It's at 91% now. Not bad. Way to go, city residents, and taking care of yourselves.
Absolutely.
Nice to see. Here in City Hall, we're still wearing masks when we are not 6 feet apart or in your sort of office by yourself. We have them at the front door for people to use if they show up without a mask. We have hand sanitizers, and we have greeters there, help people get where they need to go. We actually have unlocked the door, so now it's a little easier getting in and out, whereas before you had to hit the intercom button, talk with the department you need to get to. Sometimes they would come up to the door and meet you, take your paperwork, and other times they would let you in. So now people can come right through, and we welcome them to City Hall, just like always.
That's wonderful. But just as a reminder, some departments you still do need an appointment with, like Section 8 for sure, you need an appointment, but City Hall is open and we're not doing business through the door.
Yeah, it's nice. The intercom is a little bit of a pain. It worked pretty well, to tell you the truth. People got used to it. But it's much nicer just being able to open that door for sure.
Absolutely. And it's wonderful to see the numbers are down. We're definitely going the right direction. I think, we're probably past that holiday surge, and just everyone continue to be safe.
Yeah. So on terms of updates, we had a very active meeting last night, Mayor. Do you want to take on a couple of topics from the meeting last night, the City Council?
We could start with some activities that are going on for Black History Month. February is Black History Month. Our Youth Bureau is doing some amazing programs. Yesterday, I actually was able to visit their program where they had 2 authors come in. So they're local authors who written books here. Our children were able to hear the books being read. They were able to get signed copies, and it was just a really great opportunity. So thank you to the Youth Bureau for that. There's another program there tonight with Walter. I'm going to get bad with the last names, but he is coming in. He has the big truck with the gaming in it. He's an entrepreneur locally here in Peekskill, so he's going to be able to tell the children how he began his business. And it's Walter King, and it's really exciting. So we'll have that there today. I believe that starts at 5 o'clock today. And every week there will be something in the Youth Bureau. There's a schedule. I don't know if you have that schedule, Andy, with you, but we can post it on our website.
Yeah, the Youth Bureau just basically creates beautiful posters for all the wonderful events they organize, and we put them up on Facebook for people to see as soon as we have them. So, and I know the City Council is also reviewing candidates for its own Black History Month honorees, and we'll be looking to publicize the results of that and do commendations. I think on February 28th. On that
February 28th.
We'll also
in the council meeting, we'll do a celebration and ask the awardees to come in so that we can honor them and celebrate them. And also in our City Hall downstairs in the rotunda, our clerk's office has done an amazing job of posting some people right here in our own city, as well as historic people who've made a difference in the African-American community. So if you get a chance to come in and take a look at it, it's definitely worth the visit to City Hall.
Yes, nice. It's great to see City Hall lobby used in that way.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so we've got that. I wanted to mention also, just from the city council meeting last night, a couple other major projects are moving forward, Mayor. I want to talk a little bit about the kitchen incubator project, which is pretty exciting.
Absolutely. So the kitchen incubator project is being worked on by our IDA, our Industrial Development Agency, being headed by Matt Rudikoff. So that is taking one of the firehouses, the one on Washington Street, and that is going to be an incubator kitchen where there'll be 5 actual kitchens where up and coming businesses will be able to come in and rent space and actually launch their businesses. They'll show you, you'll have to be licensed, you'll have to be insured, you'll have to make sure you've gotten your health permit. But it's an opportunity for people who are trying to bud in a new business, in a restaurant type business, to come in and really be able to show their wares and start off and move forward. So we're really looking forward to that. We've just are in the process of completing the grant application. We are in with the county. They are really supporting this project. So really a great thing to come to our city.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting project. The city council last night was looking at a draft of a memorandum of understanding that would essentially enable the Peekskill Facilities Development Corporation to submit a grant to the Federal Economic Development Administration for a good deal of money for the development of that building with all those commercial kitchens in it. I wanted to also thank the County of Westchester. Their economic development folks have been very involved and have made commitments as well. And ultimately, the Industrial Development Agency of the city of Peekskill is committed to seeing the project through and supporting it. So it's nice to see that coming together. The IDA is really doing some great work in the city of Peekskill. It's nice to see them kind of on the proactive side of things.
It really is. It's great to have a relationship with them where they're really, the council and the IDA are working together, and it's a great partnership.
So thank you for that. Another project moving forward, which is really huge, is the Fleischmann Pier. This is a project to rehab that old pier with a up to code, beautiful pier that would serve large boats coming in. We've actually already been approached by a small cruise line that operates boats up and down the Hudson River and on the East Coast, and actually on the West Coast as well. Wonderful small boat. I think they usually have about 90 passengers on it, and they're beautiful boats, and they're very excited about this pier. Now, we don't have an agreement with them yet, but they have made an early attempt to kind of get their foot in the door, knowing that this pier is going to get built with the associated amenities on shore there. That's really credit to the planning department, of course, city council, and thank you to the state of New York for helping to fund the whole thing through the DRI and the consolidated funding application and other sources of money. This project is moving forward. The bid has been authorized to go out, and this project is going to move forward. It's very important that the timing of it, because construction work that takes place in the Hudson River, as this needs to happen just during September and October. So we're concerned to get going and get the contractors lined up so they can start getting their materials and making their plans and getting their permits to do that in-water work in the fall.
This is an exciting project. It's going to beautify that area. It'll give us a rise for our tourism to get boats in people will come in and actually see our beautiful waterfront and hopefully come up into our downtown and visit Peekskill all over. And as you said, we've had people approach us already, but it's really going to just be another addition to our beautiful waterfront. The park will be upgraded, bathrooms and so forth, the parking area. It's just going to be a more gorgeous area than it is now. So
as I think about it, Mayor, we're really in an extraordinary time in the city of Peekskill when you think about the parks and new development, because you've got the waterfront connector trail, which is a beautiful grant funded project to kind of improve that beach area and run a trail along the waterfront, connecting it over by the volleyball courts. We've got the Fort Hill Park, which has gone to bid for construction of trails and interpretive signs. We've got the $1 million for the Depew field and the basketball court, the small pitch, like soccer kind of pitches,
right.
Pickleball on the tennis courts. It's just an extraordinary portfolio of parks improvements over the next couple of years. Really an ambitious set of projects that we need to get through the process of contracting, but the funding is there, the plans are there, and it's just so exciting to see these things moving forward.
Right. You said the most important words. The funding is there and the plans are there.
Funds are there.
We
It's
just
just
need
a
to take
question of
action.
moving things along bit by
That's it.
bit. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I know we just got a commitment of money through the helpful offices of Senator Harcum, actually, to just, and this is just a small one, just to put a rubberized play surface down at Franklin Street Park, just so that when kids jump off a swing or come down off the sliding board, they land on a safe shock absorbent surface. And even that takes a fair amount of paperwork. You know, you got to go to the state, you got to kind of go through an eligibility application process. And finally, when you're actually doing the project, you have to submit for reimbursement. So each one of these projects is an important kind of administrative project for our team here in City Hall.
I don't think people realize how much goes behind every project, even though it's something small, as you said. But in the end, the value of it and to make sure that our children are safe is well worth all the paperwork and the trails and so forth. And thank you to Senator Harcum's office for, again, standing behind Peekskill and making sure we get what we need for our children.
Yeah, and while we're mentioning helpful folks, Sandy Galiff played a really important role in facilitating that $1 million grant for Depew Park and those facilities over there. She's just, these people really come in strong for Peekskill. We appreciate it very much. Speaking of parks, actually, it's smaller but important. The city council adopted a policy for people to make donations to parks of trees and benches. And last night, the city council discussed accepting such a donation from, let's see, what is the group? It's the group that does yoga classes in
Karen and Annette, and they are terrible not to have their name. Inspiring Yoga.
Yeah, they're wonderful yoga teachers. They've been offering free classes down in the park with support from our recreation department. And they're going to be sponsoring the planting of a tree and also a bench as per the city council's approved policy, where if there's benches down there that don't currently have memorial plaques on them, that people can pay money to put a message on, a positive social message along with the name of their family or community organization. And also for trees, there's a possibility of having a plaque at the base of a tree to recognize the donor of that. So we thank people for participating in that program. It's a good way of contributing to park development.
Right. And just so people know that we really take into consideration what type of trees would go there. So it's not like you can go and pick any tree you want. It's a tree that is conducive to what is there. Our Parks Advisory Board, our CAC, and others within the city have really put a plan together as to what will fit into the park.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a long list.
There's a list, and there's a list of potential locations for new trees and benches. So as people make donations, we'll be ready to put them in the right place. So that definitely deserved a mention. Moving on from there, I wanted to mention that we reviewed last night issuing a request for proposals for a sustainability coordinator. The 2022 budget included $25,000 for a little extra help getting the city's applications into the Climate Smart Communities program and also the Clean Energy Communities, which are the two kind of flagship state programs whereby municipalities can qualify for grants by showing they're making progress on certain kind of greenhouse gas reducing measures, whether it's energy efficiency or having electric vehicles, for example. We could talk a little bit about that, solar and other kinds of facilities, all get us moving forward on the sustainability benchmarks. The city's actually done a lot on that. If you go back to the last decade, the conversion of all the streetlights to LEDs was a huge project. I think, when was that? Back in 2008, something like that. I think somewhere in there. Energy efficiency work. So, but there's a lot more to do, and having a sustainability coordinator to help us move those projects forward will really be a big help. I know that the conservation committee is excited about it. They've actually commented on our RFP and on the job description. So we're talking about some things that we can do once we have a little extra help there.
Right. This is one of the first steps in earning one of the medals. So, this position will actually have to put together a committee so that we can continue to strive for the sustainability benchmarks.
Yeah, so folks who might be interested in participating on a sustainability task force, we will be promoting that opportunity. It crosses over a little bit with the Conservation Advisory Committee. I think people involved with that will participate, but we could always use new people, people who really care about the community, who have an interest in municipal operations and how we can do better as far as our own levels of energy efficiency. It would be great to have more people involved.
It would be great to fill this position with somebody local here in Peekskill. So the posting is out on the website, so take a look. I believe it's out there.
It will be up to, actually, first, the city council has to vote on the release of that RFP.
Oh,
That's our
okay.
typical process is we vote on the release of the RFP, and then once we have candidates and review them, the selection is by city council resolution. So we will be promoting the RFP after this coming Monday's meeting.
All right, so look for it after Monday.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep. So that's going on. We also actually just hired through RFP process our coordinator for the downtown revitalization fund, which I think we've started to get emails about that. The local businesses are very excited. This is a state-funded grant program that enables businesses that are in the DRI zone to get money for facades, kitchens, other kinds of capital improvements. Essentially, it does require a small match, and it's a reimbursement grant, so people have to have the money to be able to work the project, and then they get paid back through the state fund. So we're hiring a coordinator for that who will introduce to the community, and so she can start meeting with businesses and helping them with their applications for the fund.
That's very exciting for our businesses in that DRI district. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, and this is the first of a number of DRI projects that we're getting contracts on and sort of getting up and going.
For everyone at home who's heard DRI for the past two and a half years, it is finally coming. And
people say, what happened to that $10 million? You know.
Right. So we're starting to get the projects in and starting to be able to do RFPs on them and start things moving. So exciting times again.
Yep. Yeah, so that's definitely worth mentioning. Any other items that you want to talk about, Mayor, before we close out? I know we've got another meeting we got to get to soon.
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about our city manager and
Oh yeah, the city manager. So yeah, so I with a lot of mixed feelings and regret tendered my resignation as city manager last week, I guess. Mayor, I just want to thank you for inviting me in, and the city council has been supportive, and the entire community has. I mean, the partner agencies, when we entered in the COVID period, working with the health folks at the hospital and at the community health center, the business improvement district. So many people have really supported me in my work for the city, and I've been really honored and privileged to be able to do it. It just so happens that after 2 years, two real hard years actually, one of which, in the spring of this past year, I got a stroke, which was sort of bad luck, which I recovered very well from. But for a number of reasons, I've decided to take a different job over on the other side of the river, which I hope will be a little more manageable from a lifestyle perspective over in Nyack, and so I'm very excited about that. But I feel like in some ways it's sad to leave, because there's so many great things. Like things we're talking about are such exciting projects. It's really an amazing opportunity for anybody to be involved in city management and city of Peekskill. This time for the city, I think, is probably one of the most exhilarating times anybody could be city manager in the city of Peekskill.
I would agree with that. I'd just like to thank you, Andy. It has been, you came on board, and I think the next month COVID hit. But you jumped in right away. You made sure we made it through COVID. We came out financially strong. We took care of our citizens. We took care of our city hall and our employees, and still continue to do business, chugging along with masks, closing doors, the whole 9 yards. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your commitment to the city, and say it was a job well done. And I wish you the best of luck in your new endeavor.
Well, I really thank you for saying that. It's such an amazing place. I mean, I've really grown to love it. My wife and I spent a lot of time here. We've had an apartment here, and gotten to know neighbors and local restaurants, and of course, I like to spend time out walking around. The downtown area has been of a great interest to me. Just to try to, like, for example, looking for places to plant trees, and places that just need a little tidying up here and there. I'm kind of constantly on the prowl, and the leadership of the council and the department heads we have here is really extraordinary. It's really, really very, very special place. And it's certainly been an intense couple of years. Obviously, with the COVID, the budget work we've had to do to kind of accommodate that, we came out okay, but because we were able to make some tough decisions. The police reform task force was an extraordinary experience with just a wonderful, wonderful mixed, diverse group of people coming together with police officers to really dig deep into the relationship between police and the community and the policies that affect that relationship. I'm very excited to see many of those recommendations moving forward, and we have a lot more work to do on that. But that to me was an amazing way to get to know the city, because every week we had those Thursday night meetings for weeks, probably 4 months or something like that.
It was,
Um,
it was
you know,
intense.
and a lot of really good, honest, open, and sometimes difficult conversations around policing in the community in the context of some really terrible things going on in our country, with examples of police brutality, which were really just shaking to the foundations, both our police professionals as well as the community itself. So we came through that, I think, with a really great plan. Uh, just so many things I could list as kind of extraordinary. The city council forming an agreement with the Boys and Girls Club to come to the city it's just an enormous sort of catalyzing change for the Kiley Center. Part of the DRI process, obviously, it's one of the private funded projects. Our work on the affordable housing ordinance, making sure that new market rate developments have at least 10% of affordable units in them. That was a lot of work, wasn't it, Mayor? A lot of good, healthy debate, public hearings, a lot of nuance on that.
But it was great to do, and it was great to hear the public and hear everyone's opinion on it. So, and as we know, it's not something that's going to solve our affordable housing, but it's another tool in our toolbox.
Yep, no, it's definitely a step in the right direction. So yeah, I have a lot of very, very kind of fond memories and things I think we could all be proud of. There's unfinished work too, so I'm going to be hitting it real hard for the next 4 weeks, trying to make sure that we leave things in as good shape as we can for the next person. I look forward to working with the city council to advertise the position and try to get you some great candidates.
Absolutely. Speaking of candidates, I do want to mention that our senior advisory council is in need of 3 new members. One has to be from one of our senior complexes, meaning living in one of our senior complexes here in the city of Peekskill. And then the other 2 can be a member of the club, a member of the nutrition club, or any senior citizen who lives in the city of Peekskill. So you can call the city manager's office to speak with Cassandra Ray if you're interested, and we will be in touch with you once you make that call.
Yeah, thank you. The city's always recruiting for boards and commissions. If you look at the website, you can see the vacancies. We have planning, zoning, I think historic landmarks, there's a vacancy. We're recruiting for Peekskill Housing Authority board members right now. The Housing Authority itself is running a tenant representative election process. So tenants of the Housing Authority should respond to that. And if they're interested in serving, there's a petition process they need to do. So there's so many ways in which a local government relies on volunteers. And these are really important roles, and we thank people for taking an interest.
Absolutely.
So thanks to everybody. We're getting some nice comments here thanking me for my service, which I appreciate. Thanks to folks who are saying that. And really the honor is mine. I think we're done, right, Mayor?
Yep, no questions. So if we're good, we're good.
We're good. All right. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
See you a little later. Bye-bye.